It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Barrio Centro, in beautiful downtown Refugio. And I thought I'd take a little walk up and down the street, a little neighborhood, give you an idea of how it looks. Right now I'm walking in a westerly direction on our street, which is West First Street. Next door to us is property owned by the same family that owns our house, but nobody lives here. A little two-story affair. And then we come to the next property, which is actually the corner property. It's a big piece of property, as were probably the original properties here. Behind that gate, the fellow owns a great big truck, for hauling sand or gravel or whatever, monstrous truck. A couple of motorcycles, nice yard. Beautiful trees. There's Hermano Walter from the town hall. On the other side, another decent sized property. There's big gates for trucks and buses, and they make a little noise in the morning. That's kind of annoying, especially the bus. There are people who wait in front of our house for the bus to pull out of the garage. They go to El Arado. From there they have to walk for about an hour. This is coffee picking time. And I had to chase a couple guys away this morning who woke me up. They're probably not used to having people live in the house. So we're approaching Avenida Canal de Panama, which is the main north-south road. It's hard. We're kind of like at a 45-degree angle to the world here. So it's really hard to make east, west, north, south. But this is the main road into town. Up there, up the hill, is the highway. And the lovely high, looks like a tennis court type fence, is the Mormon meeting place. On the left, beyond this corner house, and as you can see, it's big on this side too, is the Rodriguez household. That's where I stayed when I first came here. My batteries are low. What do you know? The other way is 4 blocks to the street we used to live on, and that's kind of like the center of town where that white truck is. The police headquarters is on the right, and diagonally across is where I lived for a while. But there's mostly stores, businesses here. This is the 5 and 10, or 10 and 25, or whatever they call it here. Prominent families that have been here for a long time live here. I guess I better change my battery as I walk back towards the house, and then I'll continue. Okay, I'm back. We got fresh batteries. Hermano Saul, buenos dias. As you can see, there's not many people on the street. It's about a little after 8 o'clock, and we have a lady selling something on her head. So this house is part of the Rodriguez property, and this is part of the Barrientos property. They own most of this block, and they have a store on the corner, which you'll see in a moment. They have something new and different over here, a rehabilitation clinic. Faith and Love, she calls it. There's a woman here who apparently does therapy. I imagine she's got some kind of a license. Dios le bendiga, hermano. Saul is part of the family that owns our property. and he's one of the gentlemen that lives there. This is the next cross street, and up there you can see the highway, and that's a laboratory. It used to be the restaurant, a very nice restaurant, but probably too high priced for most people around here and didn't attract a lot of tourists, so it's out of business. And we have the bread man. Buenos dias. This is the bread man, or a bread man. And this is how bread is sold here. French bread, little French breads. This is kind of the commercial hub of the Refugio. This is a store that sells just about everything. It's a general store. And it's got, it says clothes for women, men, children, accessories, you know, all kinds of stuff. And a little further down is the hardware store that belongs to our former mayor from a rival party. The yellowish building in between used to be the Neveria, the ice cream store. That was his too, but I guess didn't make much money. In the far corner used to be a hardware store, but they went out of business. And then there's a truck, Yummies snacks, delivering probably to the school. And in this direction are more businesses along the street. This is a well-paved street. Kids use it for skateboarding and rollerblading. It's one of the few neighborhoods that really have good streets. And we have the gutters alongside. And this is where, you know, the water will pour out of the house from the sinks, whatever they use, showers, not the toilet. Water truck, or a soda truck, Salva Cola. And here's an old gentleman that I don't know if he's homed or homeless. Doesn't walk too steadily, but then neither do I anymore, so. And like someone who just got off the bus or is going to work wears a tie and a shirt, a nice shirt. Up at the head of the road is one of our street sweepers. This is our sanitation department. People's might have a business on the corner there. So this is it. This is my neighborhood. Another truck coming down the road. Now I have to show you something that I can't really show you, and if that sounds strange, it's different here. Remember that. You see the telephone wire? It runs to a pole in front of my house, and you can see my Claro disc for the television. Yesterday morning there were two wires there, one fatter. I came out of my house and the one wire was sagging to about 3 feet above the ground, and it was obvious that vehicles couldn't pass by on the street. So we tried to contact Claro, the company is part of Telecommunications of Central America, SADCV, to let them know they had an emergency here. But I had trouble contacting them because they only had one phone number in San Salvador, which is a long ways away from here. But we did finally manage to get through on the computer because they have a modern chat line You talk to a guy in San Salvador, not in India. Meanwhile, some of the neighbors came and raised the wire so that it was up on that fence there, but still not high enough for the big trucks to pass, and one of them tore the cable in half while I was busy writing to the agent in San Salvador and telling him about it. Eventually I had to go to the cyber cafe with my laptop and finish the message, and they told us that it would be 24 to 72 hours before somebody would come. It speaks of the quality of labor here, I guess, that they put so much slack in it or whatever that it could be tapped by a truck, and a tall truck, and sag, and then another truck would come by and the ignorant SOB would just run it over. So right now we have no telephone and we have no internet. Television works fine. So this is it. Hope you have a beautiful day. There's a little meeting of a couple of the bread men. They honk their little horns and let you know they're out. My neighborhood.